We're now ready to install a CL753 grade 2 lever lock. To get ready to do this, the first thing we need to do is to look at our door. We'll take this mount as an example of our door. One of the most common door preps in society today is a 2 1/8 inch hole, 2 3/4 inches from the edge of the door, with a 1 inch cross bore for a latch. This area here is mortised out 5/32 of an inch deep for the latch face to recess in. This is one of our most common door preps used today. Now there's one thing on this door prep that's a little bit different than door preps used in the past, and that is these 2 additional holes for through bolting. This is a commercial grade lock, and for extra strength, you'll notice that they have 2 additional 5/16 inch holes at the 12 and 6 o'clock positions on this door prep, so that when we install our lock, we can have 2 through bolts go through the door in order to provide extra strength so that we have a more durable installation. Now, because the most important part of our installation today is going to be making sure that these holes are in the right place, one of the neat tricks that you can do is to take the template that's included with the lock and you can copy it onto a clear transparency. You can hold it up and you can look to verify that all of the holes are in the appropriate position. Also important that when we do this, that the template be set to the high edge of the door. Doors are frequently milled with a bevel on the edge, and we want to put this to the high edge of that bevel on the edge here, and we'll hold it here and we'll look at it, and doggone if this doesn't look just about right. But if we were off even just a little bit, we could come in with a file, and with just a stroke or two, we could probably clean up any problems. Now we're ready to install our latch. First thing we need to know about our latch is that the curved surface of the latch is going to have to face the strike and door frame so that it will retract. So I have to make sure I have it in the correct orientation depending on which way the door will swing. My door is swinging inward, so I'm going to install it in this position. It comes with 2 screws. The screws that are used are referred to as combination screws. They're good for both metal and wood. This is the wood part here, that's the metal part. Now, when you're putting screws in for the first time, a little bit of wax or soap on the screws helps quite a bit to make it easier to install and reduces the chances that you'll strip the head or break off a head of a screw. Now the screws are in, and so now we're going to be ready to install our lock chassis. When we turn it and we look, I'd like you to notice on the inside you can see the drawbar that is going to pull back the latch, and there's also 2 little metal ears here. It's very important that we make sure that we can see these 2 ears on the top and the bottom. In the middle, there's a little T-shaped piece that is the drawbar that pulls back the latch. It's important that we see this because ultimately we're going to hook our chassis onto these pieces, and we're going to have to look to make sure that that hooked on properly. So to do that, I'm going to take the lock chassis out of the box. This is my lock chassis. This is the part that's going to hook onto the ears and the drawbar of the latch. And I'm going to take and I'm going to line this up, slide it in, and if you wiggle it just a little bit, it will typically slide right in, and it's going to give us a chance to look inside to make sure that we have engaged those 2 ears. Okay, now that we've ensured that it's hooked on properly, we can secure the inside of the chassis, and in order to do that, we're going to start with this plate. We put this plate over the threaded hub, and we can actually spin it on. Now it actually comes with a tool that we can use to give it the last turn or two. This is the little tool that actually comes with the lock. I'm going to give her a little twist, and it will actually slide right into the edge here, and we can turn it around in order to tighten it on. Once we get it to where it's tight on the door, I'm going to line it up so that the holes here line up with the 2 through bolts at the 12 and 6 o'clock position. At this point, I'm now ready to go to my screw pack and take out the 2 screws. These are the 2 long screws that we're going to use to secure the lock to the door. You'll notice this blue coating here is a special thread locking chemical, a little bit of Loctite, because doors get lots of vibration, and we want to ensure that these screws stay nice and tight. So we'll take our screwdriver and we'll tighten these screws. Now that we've got the inside flange plate installed, we've got the 2 through bolting screws installed, we can check the operation of the lock. I can push in the button and locks the outside lever. I can turn the key. So at this point, I'm ready to go to complete the inside. To do that, I'm going to have to install the inside rosette. This is going to snap on over the outside, but one feature I'd like you to notice is there's a little notch here. The little notch is so if somebody needs to remove this rose in the future, they have a little spot for their screwdriver tip to insert. On a personal note, I like to position this on the bottom so it's not visible, and also when somebody does put a screwdriver in there, it typically makes a little dent in the surface of the door, and it's least visible if we position the notch on the bottom. So I'm going to do that right now. I'll put this on over the top, snap it in place, and at this point I've now got my inside rose installed. The last piece that we'll have to install to complete our installation is the inside lever. I'm going to slide that on over the spindle, snap it in place, give it a try, lock it, comes unlocked, lock and turn, stays locked, and we have a successful installation. So that is very, very simple and straightforward. With a little bit of practice, you can install this lock in 2 or 3 minutes. It probably takes longer to get to the door than it does to actually install the lock, provided that you check to make sure that the door prep works properly, is all properly laid out. In that case, the lock will slide right in, and you'll be gone in no time. So that is the CL700 series. It is a battleship of a grade 2 lock. Grade 2 locks are considered to be heavy residential, light duty commercial, but this one is right at the bottom of heavy duty commercial. This is not a grade 1 lock, but it fits into many lighter applications, but this is a very, very robust commercial lock.